What's up guys, I'm Pederson and welcome back to another episode of Off the Rip. We're going to be talking about the second round of the Supercross series that went down in San Francisco, so let's get into it. Okay, before we get into it, I just want to point out some saves from the day. It being a mud race, you know guys were just going to get buck wild. So one that comes to mind, and the first one I saw was on Instagram, was Hunter Yoder. Goes for the triple, just sends it, sticks to his bike. He just goes, yeah, and just lands pretty much on the other lane. He was lucky that nobody else was coming onto the oncoming lane. Second was RJ Hampshire coming up nasty short on the finish line. Man, that WP suspension, I want some of that. Next one was Jorge Prado and his heat race. Rolls the double, jumps a little too far, goes off the track, hits a tough block, just gets all wild. But he ends up just saving it, stays in the lead, and ends up getting his first ever heat race win. Next was Barsha's save in the LCQ. Dude comes out of the gate, tries to pull a tear off, just almost freaking goes over the bars and tank slaps and all that, but he managed to save it and pull it off. Cooper Webb in the main event, he jumped too far on the tabletop, made all the love to his handlebars. That chest pad is just got violated. That's all we're gonna say. To move on to the Rocky Mountain Fantasy SX picks, dude, I did not know where to go with this. It's a mud race. You never know what to expect from a mud race. Guys can finish every which way. I didn't know who was going to win. I didn't know if it was going to be the MXGP guys coming out hot, like Prado, the Lawrence brothers, Ken Roxon, all good mud riders. They know how to ride in that type of condition. Or if it was going to be somebody like Aaron Plessinger or Justin Barsha. You know, those are also two very good mud riders, so they could easily win it. So I was like, man, I don't know. How do I start? How do I decipher? How do I pick out my top five and my wild card? So going into the first place position, I'm proud to say I did it again. Came back. I'm 2 for 2, baby. I put Chase Sexton to win, and why I picked Chase was that it being a mud race, it didn't seem like your bike had to be set up, you know, the best. And last week, I feel like he struggled with that. And so this week, it was just mostly about getting through the mud. And he's pretty stout dude. He can get through the mud just fine. Him having good starts, he's always up there at the top. He's gonna find himself either in the first place, third place start, which is very important in a mud race. He had good qualifying laps. He was fast in practice. And anyway, he ended up winning. He pulls a crazy start. Let's just talk about that start real quick. He said it was dumb luck, but I'm like, dude, I don't think that's dumb luck. That's whatever luck that is, I want some of that. But yeah, he just rocketed out of the gate and he just ran away with it from there. You know, he didn't seem to make any mistakes, just kept it on 2 wheels and cruised to the finish line. Second in that was my pick, Jet Lawrence. I had higher hopes for him. I didn't think he made any mistakes. I said that last week. We'll roll the clip. Also, during races, he doesn't make mistakes. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go back and just edit that part out and take everything out. No, but yeah, dude, I thought he didn't make mistakes. And, you know, maybe because it's the mud, you know, everyone's just prone to make some type of mistake. But I said it, I didn't think he could make mistakes, but he went down a lot this race. But the one I should have put up there, and I wish I did, but I thought he was gonna have a bad race, was Eli Tomac. I knew this round it was either gonna be good or bad. I didn't see him inside the top 5 if it was a bad race. I thought it was gonna be either like a 6th place ride for him, but he proved me wrong. He answered back to his Anaheim 1 result. They also mentioned it. He doesn't have really good Anaheim 1 results except last year. He came back, redeemed himself, pulled off a 2nd, pretty much a win for him. So congrats to Eli, that was a good ride. In my 3rd place pick, I had Aaron Plessinger. He was very confident during the day. And whenever it's a mudder, he just seems to feel more confident and ride better than, you know, most of the rest of the class. I didn't see him getting the win because it's hard to pass in a mud race, and I never see him pull off a whole shot. He's either gonna have to get the whole shot and win, or get like a second place, third place start, and you know, pick off 2 dudes. But I didn't see that happening. I went with my, you know, the probability and the chances of that happening, so I put him 3rd, and he ended up getting a 5th place. But who took that 3rd place was Ken Roxon. And I knew Ken was going to be good. He's a good mud rider. He did very well in New Jersey last year. And, you know, it just seemed like a safe bet to put Roxon at the front or in, you know, the top 5. And the same with Barsha. And I put Barsha for 5th because, you know, he's just a good mud rider. But I wouldn't have put him at 5th if I would have known he was sick or under the weather, whatever it is. I thought, hey, it's a safe bet. Let's put him there. Moving on to my wild card, I put Christian Craig, which I was very, very close because he did get 14th. Those are my picks, and we'll move on to the 250 class. But before we do that, we're going to talk to my friend Trey Fierro. He's a privateer who's racing the 250 West Coast, and we're going to hear about his experience in San Francisco. Like, I had some questions down, but dude, I wanted to ask you first, what was the difference between the track during the day versus the night? Like, I know they changed it a little bit.
Yeah, well, ever since I knew I was gonna be like pretty sloppy, I was like already thinking of like a game plan. Like, I knew I was gonna be in beat practice. I was like, I have to take full advantage of being the first guys on the track. So I was like, I need to get a good start, or like just like, you know, get out there with like the front runners, and then literally jump everything first lap. And that's what I did, dude. I jumped all the Supercross triples, all the rhythm section, like finish line, everything first lap, dude. Like no
Dude, that's
rolling.
Sick. That's sick. Yeah, you qualified pretty good, right? You qualified like 6th or something.
I got like 15th overall, but
15th. Okay.
What is it called? That was definitely my fastest one. And dude, I did one lap the heater, and then I just literally pulled off after, dude. And I was like, yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get. Like, I nailed that lap, and ever since that, dude, like, there was no like, there's no way you could even do anything, because like, the track just got so sloppy, and like it was impossible to ride after. So like, yeah, it was way different. Oh, I forgot to tell you, dude, my shock was blown out, dude. I was stressing, right? Like, I found out like right before the practice. I was like kind of like sat down, and like I felt like a clink. Like, I don't know, it was weird. Like like I had like 5 inches of like freaking like free play, dude.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, holy crap. And my dad was like, what do you want me to do? Like, you want me to go switch the shock out? I'm like, no. Like, it was like 10 minutes before I had to practice. I'm like, there's no way. The pits are far. The pits are like half a mile out. And like, to take off both shocks and install one, like, and then also do the freaking drive back from the pits to the track would be like impossible to make it for, like, and you needed to be there for the first 2 laps, dude. If you didn't do a good time in the first 2 laps, like, you're done.
And then well, how did your heat race go? Did you fall?
I spun out on the gate, dude, so bad. I had a paddle tire, and I don't know, it did not hook up at all, dude. I don't know what happened. I just spun out, and then I started like last, but then like there was a huge pileup. I came up all the way to 11th, dude. And then I like stalled the bike on one of the rhythm sections, and then I got past it, like, and then yeah, the LCQ, I don't know, like, I tried it. I didn't even put a whole shot of device in the LCQ so I could like get a little bit more weight on the rear. And I spun out again, dude. And then started last again, and I fell like 3 times because the track was like absolutely beat. So I was like, yeah, I was not going to get good.
Damn, that sucks. What were the lines like when you were out there? Were there any, or was it like just chaos everywhere? Like,
in the heat race, there was kind of like, there wasn't really like lines, I guess you could say. It was just like kind of like slosh everywhere. And then in the LCQ, it was started to get like slosh car racing, like literally like you're being like one rut the whole track basically. It was just like so sketchy. Like, just to roll the jumps, like, I don't know, man. I I was having fun, honestly, but man, I was like just trying to basically stay on two wheels. But no, it was like, I don't know how to explain it. It's nothing like I ever raced before, but it was sick though.
All right, so those were some words from Trey. Now to talk about the 250 class, one thing I do want to say, and it sucks to say, is that Joe Shimoda is out of the championship. I feel like because his DNF in San Francisco, it's going to be hard for him to make up those points and just win every single race. So I want to say he's pretty much out, just how I said Nate Thrasher's out. It's just too tough to win every single race in a class like this. Doesn't mean he can't do it. He could prove me wrong. Who knows? He can just go on a winning streak. But I think it's safe to say he's out. The three we should look at and that are definitely in this championship is Levi Kitchen, Jordan Smith, and RJ Hampshire. RJ Hampshire had a pretty bad race this time, scoring 9th. That doesn't mean Jordan Smith or Levi Kitchen won't have a bad race. It's bound to happen. It's the 250 class. They always say these guys move around like marbles. So I'm sure RJ can make those points back up. RJ Hampshire and Jordan Smith are the most experienced in the class. So I think those two are gonna be fighting for the championship at the end. And like I said last week, it's championship time for these guys. And they're just in that position to do it this year. So, all right, so that's pretty much off the rip from the 250 class and the 450 class in San Francisco. I'll see you guys next weekend to talk about San Diego. Peace.